for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, Venom Fire here back with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another coverage defense in Madden 21. This one's going to be another one of my unique plays that I think you can definitely add to your game. Again, it's late in the year, a lot of you guys probably want to switch up your schemes. You don't want to be running the same meta stuff that you've been running all year, so that's what I'm going to bring you guys today, a kind of an off-meta scheme. I mean, it's a pretty good formation still, one of the best in the game, but not many people run it, and I'll give you guys one of my favorite plays and setups from that. Before we get to the video, make sure you guys do go ahead, smack that like button, also subscribe to the channel as well if you're enjoying the content. First things first, with the defense, we're going to go to our zone drops, curl flats at 20 and flats at 5. It's going to be a cover 3 shell. So that, of course, is the reasoning behind that. We're actually going to be running the nickel 3-3-5 formation. So again, really you don't see too many people run this. They're always going to run 3-3-5 wide, but I'm going to give you a nice little setup from 3-3-5 just so you can be a little bit different. Now the play we're going to run is going to be this 3 overload fire press at the top. Very good stock play that we can do just a couple of different things with and really allow ourselves to adjust out of it and create a better defense with that. So we're going to be running that. Of course, with 3-3-5, I can get safeties at linebacker, so I'm just going to go ahead sub in some of those guys right now. And overall, we will be good to go. You don't have to audible, so it's going to be a little bit cleaner. You can get maybe your adjustments off. If you're a slower adjuster, this will also be beneficial to you. But yeah, let's just go ahead, get straight into it. All right, here we are out on the field now, taking a look at our stock player. You notice that there's some things that happen. Now, first of all, it's a 3-3-5 formation, so usually you'll have 3 linebackers on the second level. The way that this defense is actually set up, though, is because it's like a weird little blitz thing. You notice how that left outside linebacker, who's supposed to be in the second level, is actually lining up on the line of scrimmage. You'll notice what happens. Like, for example, if I just base a line, he's going to come back, but then eventually goes back down. So there's not really a way to get him there unless you move him, I believe. So if I wanted him there, I really could just do something like that. You also notice how Logan Ryan kind of moves a little bit. Usually he stay puts though, so that's not that big of a reasoning. I actually like to leave that left outside linebacker there, but if you like to have him there, that would be an option to do as well. Let's hop into our actual setup. You're going to go ahead, press. Of course, I'm usually not base aligned, so I'm just going to align normally. Just going to press. Taking a look at the player, you have a 3 receiver hook, you have a slot cornerback, and then you have a linebacker on a curl flat, and then you have another linebacker that's blitzing, and of course your user there in the middle. You're going to user this middle guy every single time. We want to create a double Mabel setup. That's the best way to run cover 3. You notice how we have a curl flat on the right side, of course shaded over the top. They're curl flats. So we need a double Mabel on that right side. We're, of course, not going to put our user in the hard flat, so we're going to turn that 3 receiver hook into a hard flat. So you're going to throw A in a hard flat. The next thing you're going to do is put this X linebacker in a hard flat as well. Now, usually it'll be on the line of scrimmage again. Shouldn't really matter. Those are going to be your first 2 adjustments, and I could technically run it like this, but we're going to go through a couple of other things. The next thing I'm going to do is put Y on a little bluff blitz zone, and you can really, this might be one of the only cover 3 shells in 3-3-5 where you can actually do this, or 3-3-5 wide. Usually, in order to do this, you have to have a slot cornerback who's on a stock blitz or on a stock vertical hook. If he is on a stock curl flat, which I might audible to cover 3 sky drop just to show you, you cannot get him on a bluff blitz where he's in the 3 receiver hook zone. So it has to be a very specific play. That's the main reasoning behind the play we're actually using, just in case you were wondering. But this is, again, a full get the setup. I really do love this bluff blitz from that 3 receiver hook. From that slot cornerback spot. I feel like it covers a lot of ground, and overall the defense should be pretty good. Now, one thing I didn't do that probably I should have done is that you can get a little bit more athletic guys on your defensive line, specifically on that right side. I have Dexter Lawrence, I think, playing defensive end right now, and he is, of course, not one of the most athletic players that we could have there. So not ideal, but in Ultimate Team, sky's the limit with that. Even in regs, you can get a lot more athletic guys there than I actually have. So again, the setup, it's going to be press. You notice how Julian Love is usually going to go back to either on the line of scrimmage or this spot. I've seen both. I think it depends on the congestion of the formation because we're in such a compressed set in that gun bunch. He doesn't have I don't think he has enough space to actually get on the line of scrimmage, so I might audible around just to give you guys a different look with the defense a little bit later in the video. So again, you're going to put your A defensive end in a hard flat, and then you're going to put your X linebacker in a hard flat. The last thing you're going to do is put Y in a bluff blitz and then shade over the top. So not too many adjustments. As far as your defensive line goes, I could do a couple of different things. I could like pinch my D-line. I could spread my D-line. I could shift away if I want to. If I wanted to shift to the right, I could shift to the left as well, potentially for run defense purposes. That's probably what I would do because usually Julian Love is like right here. So this is almost a 3-3-5 wide look. The biggest difference is that you don't have this guy here. If it's 3-3-5 wide, he's going to be standing here. But overall, it's very similar to a 3-3-5 wide look, which is one of the reasons that I do like it. But yeah, this is going to be the setup again. We'll hop into a new play, bench pivot or something. Let's go with a basic setup, something like this. And you'll see everything should be defended pretty well. We're going to kind of lurk over on Y, and you see B is covered well by our 3-receiver hook. I'm going to show you guys the replay just to kind of show his movement off and why I love him in that particular spot. I was kind of raving about him, and you see firsthand there he was able to do wonders for us in that slot cornerback spot. So right when the ball is snapped, he's going to go into just a overall vertical hook type of a zone. He's going to play the vertical hook. He's going to defend, take away quick routes that your user's not going to be watching. No route is going to be able to be thrown here. And of course, by the time everything is set up, he's going to be defended. Now the out route had a little bit of space. The reason for that was just the bump, but normally it's going to be covered. Of course, corner out defended. But take a look at our slot cornerback into that bluff blitz 3-receiver hook zone. End up getting back to this in route and just defending that well. He goes from like a vert hook assignment to a hook curl, goes in a little bit, and overall he's just going to adjust, almost like having another user. That's usually what I say. Now, even though he's on a bluff blitz, technically he's supposed to blitz for like a split second and then go back into coverage. You see, he just goes back into coverage. So he's basically just the 3-receiver hook. You can kind of ignore me saying bluff blitz, although that is the adjustment that you're actually doing. So that's the reason that I'm saying it. But yeah, let's show it again. You're just going to go ahead, press that defensive backs. Just go ahead, put X on a hard flat, which is the right stick to the right. Go ahead, put A in a hard flat, which is the left stick to the left. And then you just go ahead and put Y in a bluff blitz, which is the right stick to the right. So your adjustments on the left are going to be the right stick to the right. Your adjustments on the right are going to be the left stick to the left. So pretty simple there. Again, shade over the top. Of course, I can deep half if I need to. You can make any other backside adjustments you want. If I wanted to put B on an outside quarter, something like this, I am more than welcome to do it. Of course, the biggest hole in the defense is going to be the two-man rush. Two-man rush, of course, people have been running it all year. You guys know it's good. It's good enough, and it's not that big of an issue. So I think you're pretty much fine with two-man rush at this point. I'll show just a couple of new plays. Let's go with like a mesh post look, which will be pretty good against something like this. Now, you guys probably know that not too many people run mesh post, but you see how Y could be open in the slant. But normally in this particular play sequence, there's going to be a potential of two routes open. With a good user, you can maybe leave it to one route open, but there will always be one route open. And you notice how our bluff blitz did a really good job of taking away at least the deepest option, which is the post route. Y could have potentially been thrown, but of course you can make adjustments if he's consistently going to it. But yeah, I'll show the adjustment one more time, then we'll hop into some of the other things I like to do. I'm actually going to audible formations. Let's go to a wide trips look, just to kind of spread things out and show what it looks like with a different potential formation. So I'm going to press my defensive backs, just like so. And now you see, this is what I was talking about when I audible formations. Now it's not as compressed. I have more space. Now he actually goes on the line of scrimmage to give you more of a 3-3-5 wide defensive look. So again, we're going to shift to whatever side you want. I haven't been saying that, but that is, of course, an option on every single down. Y in a bluff blitz. You're going to throw X in a hard flat, A in a hard flat, and then you're just going to go ahead and shade over the top. Now, I accidentally put Julian Love in the incorrect zone. That's why he was in the vert hook, I think, or hook curl. But that is exactly what you want to see. Again, pretty good. And even though it's like a little bit spread out, your run D should still be pretty solid. Of course, I can slant to the left, which is probably what you're going to see. Just make sure that you have Dexter Lawrence on his zone. And yeah, overall, this is a look at the full coverage. Again, we're going to snap the ball like a little four verts look, and you see our 3-rec hook, although he might not come down on those super underneath routes that are running at about 0 yards of the line of scrimmage. They do have potential to defend shorter routes, especially when they're just kind of in their area when the ball is snapped. So, yeah. But let's hop into couple of other ways to run it. I usually like to do this towards the end of videos. So we're going to set up a couple of things the same way. We're going to set up these two things the same way. Shift to the right, we're going to put those players in their hard flat zones. But the thing we're going to change up is going to be our slot cornerback. So with our slot cornerback, I can do a couple of different things. Now, the first thing that I like to do is man him up. So I can man him up on like RB. I can man him up on X. Usually X is my player I like to man him up on. But I can go RB. I can even go the tight end route. So if it was a play like spacing switch, which is actually a play that I talked about in my last video. If it was something like spacing switch, that route destroys most coverages in the game, most zone coverages. Man coverage, it does struggle a little bit against, and that would be a simple fix to that, of course. So, simple way to beat that. Let's just switch the play up. Even something like this would be pretty good. And you see how he's manned up. Of course, it's kind of a basic route combo. There's not much for me to use her, but yeah, you see how you can just mix things up like that. And it really does depend on the player, what you want to do with it. You're going to start the game off. You're going to put him on that bluff blitz every single play until he shows that he can beat it. After that, then you can go ahead and start manning him up on different players. Man him up on the tight end. Man him up on RB or X or square. You can just kind of cycle through from that standpoint. I'll show against a play like mesh post, which if he's going to that, this would be a pretty good way to beat that. Again, we're going to put those players in hard flats. Now I'm going to man up him on X, which is, I usually find myself manning him up on X a little bit more than RB. Again, it depends on the player, but X is usually on the posts or the crossers. RB is usually on the short underneath routes or corner routes that'll be defended, more sideline routes. Even a drag would be defended, so that's just kind of my mindset behind it. But you see, like a stock mesh post look, defended very, very well there, and I didn't make too many adjustments, but you can see how from that standpoint, it's going to be defended, and even if it were a backside slant, I can just take the slant, and of course, everything will be backed. So let's go through a little bit of a summary. I'll show just every type of adjustment that we made with the defense, and then I'll get you guys out of here early. So you're going to put Y on a bluff blitz, X on a hard flat, A on a hard flat. You're going to shift. Of course, I can put X on a little deep half, Y on an outside quarter, something kind of like this. Just a pretty solid defense. The other adjustments you can do, man up Y on RB, man up Y on X, man up Y on A, just certain different things like this. Of course, if I wanted to, I can go with an adjustment like this, which I haven't shown yet, is where I man up the defensive lineman just on the running back. So this would, of course, take care of a setup like this. So if I wanted to bag mesh post the best way, what I'm going to do is man up Y on X, and then all we have to worry about with our user is going to be this backside slant. The running back route will be defended well by our man coverage. And you see X, he has a little bit of separation, but I can kind of work over. Of course, Terry McLaurin's going to get separation on that lower overall cornerback, but you see the coverage was relatively well. Again, the one hole is defensive line. Get a couple of abilities, you'll be golden. So that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, subscribe to the channel for more. Follow me on Twitter, link will be down below in the description, and peace. I'm out of here.